Meow! Huples cat. Quarantine 10. Over a month late. Hey, why not? Meow! So Old School Prepper and I believe Trollforge and probably other people tagged me to do a tag challenge on the Quarantine 10, which is, or the QuarTEnine or whatever it is, to answer some questions. It started in the RV world, I believe, and it got altered. So anyway, I came up with the 10 questions that I want to choose to answer, and that's what we're going to do. Number one is how many toilet rolls you have. How many TP do you have? Well, it turned out that in my accessible toilet roll, I have over 200 rolls, and most of them are double ply. This is not my entire toilet roll collection by any means. It's just what I have available in the house. A lot of the toilet paper has gone elsewhere. Of course, toilet paper is single use for most people, but it behooves me as a prepper to figure out what to do when there is no more toilet roll. And I haven't actually bought any toilet roll. Actually, that's not true. I bought 8 rolls about 8 weeks ago. Other than that, I hadn't bought any toilet roll since October. I've actually been trying to run down the stocks, and I'm succeeding. I must have had 300 or more rolls. But it is single use, and in Grid Down, I plan to have this when it's freezing cold outside, or somebody's sick, very sick, and also people would get one of these at Christmas and on a birthday. That's how rare it would be. So I don't know how much toilet roll we use a week. Got at least 6 months worth here. But in Grid Down, what I've done is I've got little packages made up of linen squares. These are from denim jeans. I haven't added to these for a while, but I probably should. But these are old shirts and other stuff, all chopped up and ready to be used as toilet roll. I have 2 manual hand washing machines, and not only using the bucket and plunger, but an actual machine designed to be spun, and I practice with it. And I have 2 because one's for everyday clothing and the other one is for feces, and this is what I would use, my little cloth rags. So I'm well set up with toilet roll. So what's my biggest change since the start of lockdown? Well, I went into lockdown earlier on. Because I'm a nurse, I still have to work. Because Kitty's a nurse, she still has to work. So we're actually out and about going to work a lot. But the biggest change is making most of our food purchases online and not really going out that much. We maybe go to the stores once every 2 to 3 weeks. We use N95s, gloves, and we have our own hand sanitizer. We're in and we're out and we pick it at quiet times. And I think that's really what you need to do. So that's the biggest change for me since lockdown, is the loss of my freedom just to feed my wants whenever I feel like it. Kitty was going a couple of times, 3 times a week to shop because she likes fresh ingredients. We've had to switch that attitude because the more contact you have with people, the more likely you are to catch COVID-19 disease. Question 3 was location. I'm not quite sure what that was now. It's been a while. But yeah, we stayed at the Shire. We have plans to bug out. We did not bug out. We decided to not quit work or retire. We had the option to do both, and we decided to work through the pandemic because somebody has to, and we have a lot of age and a lot of experience, so we decided to do that. And I think we've both had many days since we made that decision where we both regretted it deeply, but it is what it is. Until the bug out place is completed, and that may or may not be finished this year, the Shire, which is a deep rural area solar passive house, to actually relocate there, it would have to collapse the situation, and this is not a collapse situation. What have I gone without recently? Nothing, actually, to be honest. I haven't gone without anything in terms of products. A lot of people have gone without yeast. We had a lot of this pre-stored. We have a lot of flour pre-stored, so all of those things we had no problem with. The only slight problem we had was Kitty needed new running shoes, and she had to buy new model shoes because all of the remainder ones had gone, and that was something we were anticipating. So she did not go without new shoes, but she had to pay premium for the shoe. We always buy shoes 1 or 2 years old because they're a lot cheaper than buying the latest model, and that's true for almost anything. What are you most grateful for? Well, I'm most grateful for Kitty. Her support really makes being locked down in the house most of the time a lot easier than it should be. And the other thing I'm grateful for is Bear. As you can hear, he's finishing off his dinner. It's family. That's it. Everything else is nice, everything else is important to some degree, but health and family, that's what I'm grateful for. What do you miss most? What I miss most is the inability to plan for the future. By that what I mean is I would have already had my campsites booked to go kayaking this summer, and I really look forward to that all year. It's my one bout of exercise during the year, and we'll get to that later, and I really look forward to it. I have the stuff for it, I'm ready to go, and I'm not going. Now they did open the campsites for booking I think a few days ago, but I'm not going. The reason I'm not going is I work in healthcare. I have got to keep myself locked away from other people because I don't want to take the risk of actually infecting them. As of today, I still have not been tested, nor has Kitty, even though she works in the ICU and has actually not just nursed COVID patients, but has helped intubate them, put airway tubes in them, and take them out. So we consider ourselves to be high risk, and I'll get into that again as well. But the bottom line here is that if I book it, I can't guarantee that it's still going to be open when I go. I can't guarantee that I'm not going to go there and infect somebody by accident by being too close to them. It's a personal responsibility thing. It's called being a good citizen. I cannot take the risk of infecting somebody else. I can't just dismiss that and say, my body, my health. It isn't. It's my body and it's their health, and I have to be very careful. How long since you've been at a campsite? August last year, and this is June, it's really hot. I actually planned next week to go for a 6-day hike trip with the kayak. We're doing a lot of hiking, and again, that's not going to happen. I suspect that I won't be in an official campsite for the rest of the year. Bear is now drinking water. Bear has now finished drinking water. Bye, Mr. Bear. He's very sad because his sister died recently, Becky, and so he's kind of moping around, as are we all. Anyway, so August was the last time I was at an official campsite. I suspect 2021, by the summer of 2021, I might feel comfortable enough to go to a campsite. Before that, I am going to do stealth camping both here in this area and also at the Shire. I think stealth camping's kind of a great option because I know I'm not going to encounter other people. In fact, I want to practice that because it's an essential part of my bug out plan. If we bug out, we're going to use the electric vehicle, the Prius Prime, and drive to the Shire. But if the roads aren't safe or the vehicle's fried, we're going to bicycle there. We have 2 decent bikes each. But if the bikes can't go because it's winter and we don't have the expensive tyre ones, the option will be to walk there. And by walking there, we'd be walking at night and we'd be camping during the day. So I want to actually do a little bit of that. I haven't got a lot of time, but I want to do a little bit of that and bring that to you to show you my concepts in reality so I can learn what was wrong and right, and you can give me some feedback. But yeah, camping's a great thing to do, and I fully intend to get out probably in July. Favourite quarantine food? Larabars. Bought a whole bunch in the middle ago when I did an emergency food run in March and used points for it, so I got like $700 worth of food for free. I bought about 4 boxes of Larabars, which are vegan, and they're designed for women, but I really like them. They're of course coconut based, and that's one of my favourite snacky foods. How am I exercising? Well, it's been a long time since I won this race. A long time, and I'm really out of shape. So Kitty's now focusing her grief about Becky a little bit on me, and she's making me walk with her, and that's what I'm doing. We're walking maybe 2 or 3 times a week for maybe half an hour to an hour, and bicycling about once every 2 weeks. It's inadequate for health, but it's a start, so hopefully we can get there. The question I didn't ask, our alcohol intake is pretty much less than it was before the pandemic. We have slightly binged over the last 2 weeks, but that's because we're suffering from the loss of our dog. And I have no apologies for that. So you're supposed to pick 5 people. Initially I was going to pick 3. I was going to pick Uncle Al Died Bullfrog 79 because he wasn't making videos, but now he is, and I believe he's done this. I am picking 2. I am picking Luis from Puerto Rico Prepared. I want Louis to answer these questions because I want to see Louis again because I miss him on YouTube, and I want the Angry Prepper to also do a video in response to this because I miss him as well. And for everybody else out there who hasn't done this challenge, it's a good one. If only to actually see how much toilet roll you have, and if you actually have the prepared readiness to deal with no toilet roll. It's one thing to say, I will cut up squares of linen in grid down and da 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 da. Can you actually do it? And then have you done stuff in advance? You know, have you done stuff in advance that can easily be compacted up? So you've got these toilet squares that are reusable. Are you ready to go? It's a critical function. It really is. One of the other things in grid down is we will be saving all of our poop, putting them in heavy duty black trash bags and leaving them outside for 2 years to 3 years, and then using them as compost, because it's absolutely vital that right from the beginning of this you understand that nitrogen and phosphorus and magnesium and a whole bunch of other stuff, it's vital that when you eat it, it doesn't just get flushed into the sea. It's got to go back on the soil. We live up 800 miles, I believe, from the ocean. That is an absolute critical factor. The soil health is critical. The other critical factor is salt. And I don't know if I have enough salt. I have quite a bit. One of the things I'm going to look for in the near future is to actually increase my salt stocks up into the 50-pound range. I think it's kind of important. I've always had ideas, I'd do this, I'd take rock salt from the local municipality and grind it up, but I'm not ready. I haven't done that. I haven't got it stored up. So I'm going to get salt. I'm going to get salt, I'm going to get ready to use. It's going to be critical. Hydration's no issue for me. There's a ton of clean water around here. At the bug out location, there's multiple clear water springs. So even if it's a radioactive event, we've got fresh water that's safe. And I have the Berkey, I have a second Berkey, I have multiple filters for the Berkey and also generally filters. So water's not going to be an issue for us at all. Toilet roll will not be an issue at all for us. And long-term toilet roll is also not an issue. What would be an issue will be food, and the most important thing will be fats. So one of the things I want to do when I've retired and I'm living at the Shire is I want to have a lot of green coffee beans, and I want to be able to roast them and deal with them. Because I think trading coffee for bear and moose fat and meat, even though I'm vegan, in grid down in Toronto, Canada area, will be absolutely critical. So yeah, so that's my message. I'm in lockdown, been in lockdown for months, will be in lockdown for months more. I plan to come out of lockdown about 3 to 6 weeks after the last global cases of any significance have happened. We're talking about a small little outbreak in one city. We have a global pandemic, it went like this and it's going like this. So this is the first wave, we're finishing the first wave probably in a week or two. If we're very unlucky, we'll see a second wave about 3 to 6 weeks from today. And I want to make sure I don't get infected in the run-up to the second wave. It's critical to me. I'm a 55-year-old male who's fat and not in great health anymore. It's critical to me that I don't catch this disease because it kills people. It kills between 1 and 11% of people who are hospitalized with it. It isn't the flu, it's not minor, it's not trivial, it is a mega issue. The quarantine is important. The personal safety of you and your loved ones is absolutely critical, that you lock down, self-isolate and go into a quarantine mode until it's safe to come out of it. Not convenient, not economically desirable, but safe to come out of it. Now we work and we take precautions at work. I have shown some of them previously. I might, now the weather's nice and we can get some more sunlight, actually go through what we've actually ended up doing, because it's kind of an interesting process we go through to enter work and to leave work. But it's hard to remember, and it's important to focus on the safety of yourself and not just go, yeah, whatever, and just relax and drop your guard. So that's it for me. Thanks for the 10 or more great questions. And if anybody wants any cheap toilet roll, they can break in my house and steal it. Like I said, I have actually other rolls downstairs that aren't as accessible as these were. These were in the 2 toilet living areas, and there is toilet roll at the Shire hidden away. I think it's really important to have the convenience of paper towels when it's so cold outside. To use cloth rags might not be the greatest idea, because you may not be able to wash them very well if they're solidly iced. Okay, so that's why I wanted quite a lot of toilet roll, and I've been running it down, so I have over 200 rolls right here. So I must have had 300 plus rolls, maybe less, I don't know, because we really haven't bought any since October. Remember, in SHTF, tomorrow will always be worse than today unless you prep, and sometimes you can over prep. Doodles! This has been a very good terrier production, 2020. Mr. Bear! Mr. Bear! It's getting close to dinner time.